So, what if you could build a profit engine for your store that basically runs itself? I mean, completely on autopilot. Today, we're going to dive into how pricing automation, specifically with a tool called Hustle Got Real, can make that happen. Let me ask you something. Do you ever worry that your suppliers' constant price changes or just quietly eating away at your profits? It's a huge headache for online sellers, for sure. But there is a really powerful way to solve it. The best way to think about this system is like a thermostat for your store's profit. Seriously, you set the perfect temperature, that's your ideal profit margin, and it just automatically adjusts to keep it right there, no matter what's happening outside. Okay, first up, the constant pricing headache. This is the big one, right? The core problem every dropshipper deals with. All the risk and the endless grind of doing manual updates. Which brings us to section 2, automating your profit engine. Let's get into the set it and forget it solution that can actually turn that headache into one of your biggest assets. The whole thing is built on this idea called rule-based pricing. And this is a huge mental shift because you're not setting fixed pricing anymore. Instead, you're building the logic that sets the prices for you. You define the rules and the system just takes over, automatically adjusting your prices whenever your supplier costs change. So, where does all this magic happen? Well, all of this pricing power is controlled from two key sections inside the settings. Let's break down each one, and we'll start with the foundation. So, section 3 is your global pricing defaults. Think of this as your store's main control panel, the baseline for your entire pricing strategy. This monitoring page you're seeing here, this is your store-wide safety net. The settings you put in here apply to every single product you list. It's your first line of defense for keeping your business profitable. Let's quickly go through these global settings because they're super important. Monitor stock, that right there saves you from the nightmare of selling something you don't have. Monitor price, that's the heart of it all. It protects your profits. The .99 ending is a simple, classic psychology trick that's just done for you automatically. And the out-of-stock action lets you decide exactly what customers see when something's gone. Altogether, these create a really stable foundation for your whole store. All right, next section, advanced supplier-specific rules. So once that safety net is in place, you can get into the really fun stuff, fine-tuning your strategy. This is where the real power is. Now, I know this interface might look a little complex at first glance, but the logic behind it is just incredibly powerful. It lets you create totally unique rules for each supplier, and you can even set different rules for different price ranges from that same supplier. In creating a new rule, it's just a simple 4-step process. First, you pick the supplier. Then you define the cost range you want this rule to apply to. Step 3, you add your markup, either a percentage or a fixed amount. And finally, you just flick the switch to turn it on. It's like you're building your own custom pricing machine, piece by logical piece. Now, you've got two main choices for your markup. A percentage markup is awesome because it scales with the supplier's price, protecting your margin no matter what. Honestly, it's the best choice for most products. A fixed markup adds a flat dollar amount, so it's a bit less flexible, but it can be really useful for certain items with super stable costs. Okay, check this out. Here's a real-world strategy you could use for Amazon. See the logic here? For the cheap stuff, under $10, there's a huge 75% markup. But for the more expensive items, over $50, the markup drops to 30%. This dynamic approach lets you maximize your profit on the small stuff while still staying competitive on those high-ticket items. It's so smart. So, how does this all come together to act as your 24/7 profit shield? Let's talk about how the automation actually protects you. So just picture this. A supplier suddenly raises their price. Instantly, the system sees that new cost. It then finds the correct rule you've already created, and it recalculates your selling price on the spot to make sure your margin is protected. It all happens in the background. No manual work, no panic attacks. This automated safety net is literally working for you 24/7. It stops you from ever selling at a loss. It gets rid of those horrible, unprofitable surprise orders, and it completely frees you from that tedious, soul-crushing task of manually checking prices all day. Really, it's about replacing that constant worry with total confidence. Okay, let's wrap this up with your smart pricing takeaways. We're going to quickly recap the key principles that make this whole approach so powerful. Just remember, the whole system is designed around this core philosophy. It's always rule-based, it's always markup-driven, it's always fully automated, and its number one job is always to protect your profit. And that brings us right back to that thermostat idea. So the final question is pretty simple. Is your store's profit thermostat set correctly? Because now you've got the tools to find that perfect temperature.